Hey there, hope you're doing well. In this video, I'm just going to talk about some work I was doing late last night. On our platform, project management platform, by the way, if you haven't signed up, definitely check us out. We've got a lot of features that doesn't matter what you do for a living, I'm sure you will enjoy the features and it'll make you more productive. The product actually, the web app is the oldest of our is the oldest in our ecosystem, and that is like we went live like less than just about 2 years ago, right? But we started building this maybe a little more than 3 years back, maybe a bit longer in terms of the initial inception idea. At that time, as we were defining our stack, we were making some choices, and some of this was written even a little bit before that as well. So long story short, I actually ECMA 6 wasn't necessarily around, so the JavaScript syntax isn't as I meant to actually show the video, but sorry. Yeah, so the JavaScript syntax wasn't where it is today. So I had picked CoffeeScript to be part of our technology stack, and I thoroughly liked it at the time, and it stood us in good stead. But all good things have to come to an end. So we've kind of been transitioning out of it for the most part. We have a responsive mobile app as well on top of the native mobile apps. That's going to remain in CoffeeScript for a bit longer, but we are in the process of porting over our web app completely from CoffeeScript to JavaScript, right? And TypeScript eventually, but it's a transition. So that's what I was working on yesterday. And we have a large number of files. It's a big product. It's got a lot of features. So naturally, it's got a number of files. But I was able to, we want to try and see how you don't do these things manually, right? Because if you do it manually, it's going to take forever. So I'm just going to quickly show you the process I actually have followed. And at this point, we're pretty much done in the porting, I think. Of course, we do a lot more testing, and then we have a big 2.0 release coming up. But at least the work that relates to the migration or the porting of CoffeeScript, at least from a web app standpoint, I have to say it's very close to being done. And how did we do it? So let's say you have, I have the sample CoffeeScript code in my buffer. Before I hit record, I just copy that from our code base. There's many ways you could. There's one option if you wanted to convert CoffeeScript to basically JavaScript. You could go to coffeescript.org, and then you can type stuff here and it'll actually convert it, right? But it does an already job. I don't believe this has changed in a little while, and I don't believe it converts to ECMA 6 and beyond either. But there's another one that actually does that. So if I go to decaffeinate, right? So if you go to decaffeinate-project.org, you can I'm going to show it here. You can actually type in some CoffeeScript here, and it's going to convert it to JavaScript, right? So let's say I have something in my buffer. This code on the left is like one of our files. It's a CoffeeScript file, as you can see. And then boom, the moment I put it here, it gives me the JavaScript equivalent, right? Now, obviously, before even our current production implementation, we do this as part of our packaging when we create our asset pipeline. But that apart, right? We used to exclusively code in CoffeeScript. Not exclusively, for the most part, I think I should say, right? Now that is also going to change. Now this generates the corresponding JavaScript. It is a pretty good job, actually. You have to make some adjustments to it. You have to clean stuff. There's a bit of refactoring that has to follow, but it does a pretty good job. Now, obviously, you can't do that if you have thousands or hundreds or thousands of files. You just can't do it manually, right? So thankfully, there is also a decaffeinate npm module. You can go here. You can actually, just install it, do a -g, and you can run this command, and you can actually do you can look for all the coffee files, and you can look. This command currently takes a single CoffeeScript file and converts it, but you can, just do a find. The command would look something like this, right? So if I were to go to the command line, it would be something like this. You could do a find .-name, maybe star.coffee or star.js.coffee, however you had named it, and that's going to return all the files, and then you would basically pipe it XRs, and I can say decaffeinate. And then I can, this will just do it, right? So essentially you just, it's a very basic command, right? You're getting all the list of coffee files and you're decaffeinating that. This will automatically put that in the same directory where the original coffee file is. But then you might have to do some renaming and such, because this is star.js.coffee, so the generated file in our case ended up being star.js.js. So you have to do a rename, and I think might have a command here to share as well. Rename. Yeah. Okay, so you could do a -exec and rename. Obviously, rename is not available. If you're on OS X, you just do a brew install rename and install it. And I'm on an M1, so you just want to prefix it with the architecture before you actually run it. So I probably have the command here as well. grep-I rename. Oh, that's what I just did. So maybe I didn't do a brew install in this terminal. Maybe it was a different terminal. Let's go here. Yep, just do arc-64 brew install, and then you'll have rename available. You can do a -exec rename, and you're just replacing whatever, right? I was looking for .coffee and replacing it with nothing pretty much globally. The plus or the semicolon. The semicolon works on Linux. For whatever reason, on the Mac distribution, if you could call it that, the semicolon doesn't work as a termination character, so I had to just do a plus. This will convert just about everything to JavaScript, right? So, which means regardless of the hundreds of files that we have, this was like a single command. It probably took a couple of minutes to complete just because we have a large number of files. And then we have the CoffeeScript version. The JavaScript version. Now, that's close enough, but it's not perfect. Because it does have a few things that you have to fix naturally, but it's 85% of the way there, right? So you just have to go into the file, see if it's complaining about a few things, and then fix those items, and then do cleanup as well, right? So the cleanup is optional, but in our case, it's kind of mandatory. We're very particular about the quality of what we actually commit into the code base. So that is what remains. We have to clean up and change the comment formatting and add the params and the JS doc and all of that kind of stuff. But at least the conversion from Coffee to JavaScript is, I would say, like I said earlier, 85% done. And it's kind of bittersweet because I've personally enjoyed the CoffeeScript syntax over the years, pre-TypeScript, right? Pre-ECMAScript 6. So I kind of feel I'm parting ways with it in some regards, but obviously we still have a responsive mobile app which uses Coffee. Not entirely going to miss it, but I'm happy. This is something we've been wanting to do because a lot of the new code we're writing has been in pure vanilla JavaScript in some cases and TypeScript in other cases, and just being able to context switching within the world of JavaScript in itself can be challenging, right? Because there are differences. Coffee is very sensitive to the spacing. It's more like YAML or HAML and all of those. It has, each space has a meaning. So we have to be very cognizant of that, and it doesn't have the ternary operator. There's certain assignments, certain kind of assignments it does not support. The destructuring works slightly differently. So it was not worth it for us anymore. And given that we do plenty of JavaScript on one side and TypeScript in our ecosystem, obviously we have a lot more languages other than that. Where we want to avoid this context switching, we want to be able to just to make us more productive. That was the idea behind this transition, and we are happy that we were able to kind of make this headway. Initially, I was a little worried if we had to, there was a lot of manual work involved here. Luckily, there is, like for everything else, there's an NPM module, and it actually does a decent job, gets us close enough to the finish line, so we can just fill the holes and get that going. That's basically it. Hopefully, some of this helps you. And I've already pitched the product, so I will save you that. And the weather is getting warmer and nicer, so have a wonderful week and early weekend or something. Well, it shouldn't be part of the video. I'm kind of looking for a contracting engagement. My current project ends, which really shouldn't be part of the podcast. But you know what? I'm sorry. I said it. But if you need engineering, architecture, dev help, don't hesitate to reach out to me. Talk to you soon.